Stitches of love we sew. In this online world we come to grow. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, where hearts align. Let's embrace the craft and let our souls shine.
Hey everyone, I'm Laura Lynn from the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop Studio. Thank you for joining us today. Our weekend project is working on a boxed bottom zippered little bag. I wanted to make something for some fans of the channel that we're meeting up with in a little bit, and I didn't want to come empty-handed. I wanted to show my appreciation for them coming all the way to see me, so I'm making them a little something. I used some sewing themed fabric for this because we're a sewing themed kind of group, and I'm hoping they like it. So this is directional, so I had to make sure when I was laying out my fabric for the either side that I had it so it was sitting upright, but you may not have to deal with that depending on the fabric that you use, but just make note of it. So it is a free pattern. I'm going to list the cuts right below. So it is 2 rectangles for the lining and 2 rectangles for the outside fabric. And I have those here. It is 10 by 6.5. And then you want to make some really easy little marks on them to make sure that you're going to get your box tops and bottoms, okay? And then of course you're going to need a zipper for this. I make sure the zipper is longer than I need, and plastic, that it is a plastic zipper, not a metal one, so you can be able to sew over and tuck those right in so it looks nice and cute. I did make a handle on the second one, and I made sure that when it was zippered closed, that's where the end of where the handle goes onto. So you wouldn't want it having the handle going on the opposite side, because if you didn't shut this all the way, anything that you had in there would have been just lost. So you want to make sure when you pull the zipper closed, it goes on that side of the handle. So very handy just to pop something and put in your hand, pop it over something on a hook. You know, you don't necessarily have to, take up like bag space. It can actually hang up on something, okay? So I was trying to be handy with it. For that little strip right here is 8 inches by 2.5. I just used some extra binding that I had left over for that. And of course some zippers. And I have some medium to heavyweight interfacing, but it's just sew in, and then some batting. I always have batting here left over from the quilts that we work on here, so I'm always looking for projects to do with them. So what I did is I took the front fabric or the outside fabric they're going to do, and I just put some batting on it and just a gentle little quilt over it. Nothing too exciting, just to keep it together. If you had some heat and bond batting or whatever, then go ahead and use it. And same with the interfacing. I just put my 2 pieces together and then just stitch down. So I put the interfacing on the inside and the batting to the outside. It doesn't really matter. You could do either or, okay? So what we want to do is make some marks on the back of the lining as well as the front fabric, okay? So we got a little pencil and our little ruler here. So depending on the size of what we want for the box bottom here, if you wanted it a little bit wider, you can go wider. That's completely up to you, but just keep the top at least somewhat consistent, I would think. But you don't have to, it's all you. So we're going to take 1 inch off the bottom. So we're going to line up our ruler right here so it goes right along there. And we have that little inch. We're just going to mark on both corners, or actually all corners. Sorry, correct myself. Okay. And then let's do this one. And of course, it's the back side of the lining that I'm using. And if your lining was directional too, you of course want to make note of that. So these 1 inch cutouts are going to happen at the bottom of the tote, right down here, okay? Or the little bag. Well, we all know I love a good bag or tote. So that is the bottom corners. Now when it comes to the top parts here, I just like to turn it right side up, so I'm actually working closer to me, not farther away. Now you want to come in 1 inch in this direction, but you'll only want to go up 3/8. Now if you are unsure of what 3/8 is on your ruler, okay, so on this ruler here, you have the measurements of 1/8, and then it goes 1/4, and then there's 3/8, and then it's 1/2, and then it's 5/8, and then it's 3/4, and then it's 7/8, and then it goes up to the inch. So what you want to do is you want to come in at the 3/8. So that's the third little mark right here, just under the half, but more than 1/4. Okay, so that little line right there. So come from 1 inch in, and then 3/8. Okay, and that comes in at the top. So we're just going to line it up. So we're at the 1 inch here, and then we're going to go down to our third little line 1, 2, and now we're on the 3, and then draw our little line. And those are the tops. That's how we're gonna get the tops to fit nicely. And you're gonna do that on the lining as well as your outside fabric, okay? So you're gonna make those marks. So this one, of course, is directional, so we're gonna put those shorter little cuts right up here, and the bigger cuts down here, the squares, okay? So once we get all that sorted, okay, for time convenience here, okay, you can see how the smaller cuts are up at the top and the bigger cuts are down at the bottom. And of course with the lining, it didn't really matter. And again, on this one, I put the batting on the lining and the stabilizer on the outside. I wanted to see if it really made a difference. I don't think it really does, okay? So to put the zipper in, it's really quite easy. You take the right side of the fabric facing up towards you. Now, depending on which way you want to have your bag, maybe a specific way, you're going to lay your zipper face down right on top of that, okay? And then you're going to take one of your linings, which is going to be face down on top of that, and you're going to clip. I find this is the perfect place for these clips. Doing binding, bags, little totes like this. Great for that. And then we're going to do a stitch all the way across, okay? And you can do a nice 3/8 stitch too. You may have to put a piece of masking tape down on your sewing machine, or you may even have markings already. I kind of have a little gauge of where it is on my foot of my machine and just kind of ride it all the way across, okay? Make sure we are lined up with the right sides together. Okay, you can see the right sides together here. That is my lining and this is my outside. And we want to make sure things are all kind of lined up down here too. Back stitch just to hold it, and then just keep on trucking. I'm not worried about the zipper because I know I'm coming out right next to the zipper. And it is plastic, so even if I were to hit it with my needle, it's not a big deal. It's nothing to worry about. We're going to come all the way to the end and do a back. Okay, now we're going to take it to the board and give it a little iron. So this is what I think makes it comes out really nice, is if you just give it a little heat press before, because you're just kind of setting those like sharpness, and then you're going to press outwards on both sides. So you're going to have the back sides facing together, okay? And then just spread it out so it's nice and flat, okay? And again, do be careful when it's you're dealing with the zipper. You don't want to clearly melt that, okay? So we're pressing that flat, and then we're going to do the next side, okay? So what you want to do is you want to take your right side fabric. This is how we're going to attach the other side, okay? So right side up towards you. You're going to take your project that you just did, that side there, lay it right sides together, the front's right sides together, okay? And then you're going to lay the lining right on top of that, and you're going to line that up and sew down, okay? Just kind of shift that a little bit, okay? So they line up nicely. Okay, just like that. And then we'll just do a stitch down, okay? And that's why I like using a bigger zipper, because then you're not dealing with any of the bulkhead of the zipper in the way of your trying to get your project, okay? Back stitch. Back stitch. Felt like I went a little bit out towards here, like you see it's okay, and then it kind of zips out a little bit. It's okay. That's going to look a little weird on the other side because of the zipper. So let's come back in and do that properly. Somehow I got a little wavy with my seam allowance. Okay, there we go. That'll look better. And then you get this like little wave in your zipper. Okay. And then we're going to set that. All right. Just give that a little heat. and then roll it out. Press it out nice and flat. Okay. And once you have everything nice and flat, you're going to do a top stitch right next to that zippers. Okay. So back underneath the machine. I'm just going to do a top stitch. You can use one of your decorative stitches if you like. That's what they're there for. This makes a great, easy gift. Very personal to make for someone. Turn it around, and we can make sure we're A-okay by having our top and our back all lining up. Make sure they're all good. We just want to start from where it's joined onto the zipper, not where it's still loose, right? Those are going to be our box corner tops. Now, if you wanted to make the handle, you'll take your 8" by 2.5. Okay. This is kind of where you would want to be able to put it in on the next step. So what I took is I took my 8" by 2.5. Oops. Give a little press. And then because it was binding, I just took that raw edge and tucked it in. And pressed. And then raw edge and tucked it in. So it ends up being about 1 1/4 at that point in time. If you had any like little mesh net or anything like that, or like a little light knit weight fiber, that would be fine too. And then you just fold it over, and then you just do a little stitch down on one side and then stitch down on the other, and you got this cute little band. Okay. And then where you would want to be able to put that is, like I say, when your zipper is closed, you want to be able to put it on that side of your bag. Okay. So you can either put it like this way so it does a little loop, or you can just put it that way. It's totally up to you. And you just want to make sure that it gets just a little clip on that side. It just needs to be a little bit apart. Oh, there we go. That's what I like. Okay, we're just holding those there for a second. Okay. And then we're going to zip the zipper down just a little bit. Oh, hello? Okay. Okay, just a little bit, because we want to back stitch across the edge here to keep those zippers together when we go to make the edge of the pocket here, or the edge of the pouch here. Okay, and make sure there's at least trying to be as close together as possible. Okay, and we can't do this and then stitch over top, or we don't have our zipper where we need it. Okay, so let's do it a little bit closer, and let's do a couple little stitches right next to it, because we're going to enclose that, right? So let's fold these little fabrics out of the way. Little zipper head. And I'll kind of put one right next to the other. So I'm going to come stitch down, hold those two together, come forward, hit my back button, there and there, okay? So that's good. And I'm going to scoot up just a little bit more, just like 1/4 inch, and do the same thing. Okay, we might want to move the zipper back a bit. There we go. There, just to make sure, okay? Now we go back over here, and now we're going to move this right to about the center, okay? We're going to take those two right sides together, and we're going to make sure everything lines up right even into the corners. Okay, reclip that, and reclip that. Okay, and once you have these two snug together like this, you're going to sew completely around. When it comes to the front of this one here, you're going to go here, and then, sorry, you're going to go from this edge here, right from that edge here, all the way down, and then all the way across, and then all the way down. You're going to leave this little part open because that's what's going to make our boxed. Now it comes to the lining, you want to leave a gap of approximately, I'd say at least a hand width. Okay, so let's do that. And over there, we're going to leave that space open. We're going to come straight down, here, then here, and then straight down. Okay, so let's do the lining part first. Coming right up to the top, right up to that top edge. And of course, giving it that nice 3/8 seam allowance. Boop, boop, boop. Calm down. Calm down. There we go. And always back stitch when it comes down to the seams there. At the end points and the start points. It just really helps things keeps together as you're moving things in and out. So a little back stitch right where it comes to that one mark. Lift our foot. Drop it down over here, back stitch, then come up the side. So we've left our gap now to turn this little one right side out. And we want to come right up to the top. Okay, we're going to move our zipper parts all the way out, all the way out of the way. And then when it comes to the front, we're going to zip all the way around. Okay. You could reinforce those little sections there if you think maybe something really heavy might be in that, the bag. All the way across. Pins get really pokey if you're, that's why the clips are so fantastic. But I find the smaller ones easier to maneuver than the bigger ones. I find it really actually hard to kind of get the bigger ones open for some reason. But I heard there was like really large ones or extra large that look like this one, but they're just got a longer little, like little mouth on it, I guess. So. Now, come back over here. Now we want to make sure we're going to put our hand right through the lining, make sure our zipper is in the center. Okay, yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to take our little scissors and we want to eliminate a little bit of the batting bulk, just the batting, not the back or the lining fabric, just the batting. Just kind of clip it up on a little bit of the edge there. On all the little corners. Okay. And try to make sure you're not getting the lining part. Just want the batting. Oops, I think I got the lining part of that one. Yeah, okay, I think we're okay. It's just more like the batting part, okay? So now what you want to do is you want to be able to pull the lining section apart, just like that, okay? Trying to get it so you can really get a good look at it. And you're just kind of pulling it apart as if you were doing a boxed foot at the, or boxed bottom, okay? So what I found it was easier for me to do was take this one, get it flat enough, and with that seam lined up right on the zipper, okay? So I focused on the one side first, okay? And then I come around and then I focus on this side. So you're taking your right sides that are together, you're just kind of pulling them apart a bit, okay? And you're squishing it down and kind of laying it flat all at the same time. Because you want to make that, you're making a boxed corner but with a zipper in the middle. And you want to make sure that the seam that you're using on either side, okay, seam that you're using is like right on top of the zipper. Okay. There we go. And again, we'll stitch that down with a 3/8, okay? Do that on both sides. Just kind of pull the sides apart, and in the evenness of where the seam is, put that right on top of the zipper. Okay. I just find it easier to work one side and then the next, because you pretty much have it all lined up on the one. and then work the next, because you really want that right on top of the zipper. Okay. There we go. I think we're pretty good there. Looks pretty good to me. Okay. So then we'll do is pop a little 3/8 stitch right across. Okay. Laying it flat. It kind of, you need to get in a little persuaded a bit. You know? Fabric persuasion. This one. Around to the other side. I found this one, definitely do this one first, because it is the more trickier one of them. But that's just my opinion. Try to do the tricky ones first. Make sure that's lining up there. It's more visually important on the outside fabric than it is on the inside, but you really want to get it on both if you can, right? Do your best. Practice makes progress. I'm going to take a quote from Miss Craft a Simple Life. Okay, so now you come back to the table and you're going to lay those other edges together to make the box corner, and you're just going to split the seams and then sew on down. Okay, just like that. Do. Split the seam, sew it, and you're going to do that for the 4 corners. Okay. And I didn't want to stress myself out. So, but we do have our regular Long Arm Wednesday will be there. We've got those videos already recorded and edited, so they're ready to rock. But we appreciate your patience and your understanding. Can mark your calendar for the 27th of April. We've got we're going to be live on location in front of a studio audience. And have some guests on our show. So check us out. And if you like what we got going on here, tell a friend, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, now the fun part. Turning it all right side out. Okay, so we don't need these extra little flaps for our zipper, so we'll just nip it and nip it. Okay, and now we want to take and turn it all right out. So I try to go and work the zipper open first. Okay, stick your fingers in there. And of course, using all sorts of colored zippers and zipper pulls and all that fun stuff, right? Now you just want to turn it right side out, and just a little at a time. You just poke out the corners, the boxed bottom there. Poke out the top. See, that looks amazing. That looks amazing, looks amazing. Alright, let's look at this one here. Got our little handle there. Looks good. Pokety poke. Look at this one. Oh, there we go. Nice. That's okay. We have extra threads. That's alright. Not a big deal. Okay, there we go. Oh, look at that. That looks nice. Okay, and then all we have is just that little bit to whip stitch closed in the bottom where we turned everything right side out. You can make a lovely little pull tab for the top part there. And we made ourselves a cute little boxed bottom bag. I love it. Okay, I got a few more to do. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Big hugs to you and your family. And we will see you real soon. Bye-bye.
We sow. In this online world we come to grow. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, where hearts align. Let's embrace the craft and let our soul